What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react to people around the world talking about the dumbest things that an American has ever said to them. So, as an American, I am aware of our reputation for saying really, really dumb things, especially about other countries that we don't understand. So today, I want to hear some of these real life examples of things that my fellow Americans have said that are really dumb. and I don't know, I'm kind of curious to see exactly what we're dealing with here. So let's take a look.
I saw another video that had the same answer as this, but it happened to me, so I'm going to let you know. I am from Jamaica. I got here in 2018, early
Okay.
2019.
Okay.
And I worked at Trader Joe's, so I'd interact with a lot of white people. A lot of people were always like, oh my God, how's your English so good? And I'd have to explain to them that we speak English in Jamaica. But I forgave them because
Oh my God. That is such a backhanded compliment. First and foremost, I don't know what I really think about that statement. A lot of Americans like to say that to people. Your English is so good. And it's meant to be a compliment. But unfortunately, I don't know if Americans are properly equipped to use this compliment because it really, really backfires in situations like this, where you say it to somebody who is a native English speaker. They're just from a country outside of the United States. I know that concept completely. This is very stupid. The more I think about this, this is actually legitimately something dumb that a lot of Americans do. A lot of Americans don't even realize that there are other countries out there that speak English. So, yeah, some Americans here are trying to be nice. When they hear people who have a different accent or talk differently or look differently, a lot of Americans are trying to be nice in a weird way and be like, "Oh, good for you. Your English is so good." And it's like, they're from Jamaica. They speak English there. Like, you're being rude. Like, I don't know. It's bad. That's bad.
it is Latin America and they probably think we all speak Spanish. But I remember one time this old lady.
No, I mean, no, I don't even think that's a proper excuse. I think most Americans are pretty aware, or should be. Maybe I'm giving us too much credit. Most Americans should be aware that people from Jamaica speak English. I don't I don't think that excuse counts. Like thinking people from Jamaica speak Spanish. I don't you no, you Americans should know this.
That was always friendly with me, always used to cash out at my register. One day she said to me how we got around in Jamaica, and I was genuinely confused. Like, what do you mean? How do we get around?
What?
She's like, if we use cows and donkeys. And I was like,
No. 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 Bad. Bad American. Bad. That's what you got to do. You got to bop them on the head and be like, bad. No. You don't say, oh my God. Really? I swear, I'm American. I know lots of Americans here in the United States. A lot of people I know aren't this stupid. It's kind of shocking to me, like how when you look at all these examples from around the United States, you actually find these Americans who are this stupid. or this rude. This is a strange example because this American is, in this example, is trying to be polite. Funny enough. They're talking to this Jamaican woman at the grocery store and they're like, oh, your English is so good. She speaks English. So that's really uncomfortable that you said that, but okay, whatever. She has a really good attitude about it, so good for her. But when somebody comes up to you and an American comes up to you and you're from another country and the American says, "How do you get around? Riding on cows? Riding on donkeys?" That is another level. To me, that is unacceptable. The language thing, whatever. Americans, a lot of us don't know what language people speak around the world in different countries. But to assume that is so bad. That is so bad, and honestly sounds a bit racist to just be like, oh, that's a country that's not the United States. Jamaica. Huh. They must ride donkeys. In some cultures around the world, sure, they ride donkeys, but when I know when an American says, "Do you guys get around on horses and donkeys?" I know that is not a compliment. That is another way of saying, "Oh, you're from a third world country where you guys don't even have electricity. How do you guys do anything over there in that horrible, simple country?" And it's like, we're talking about Jamaica. What are you talking about? And this one's getting me a bit worked up. This is very bad. This is embarrassing for Americans, this example.
No, we drive cars. And she goes, there are roads there? And I go, yeah, like paved streets. And she goes, oh my God.
What? See, I don't... Here's a question. Do Americans who are really stupid, do they get a pass if they genuinely are just... Is it better if they're ignorant? Because this American just sounds like they are curious. They're just ignorant. They don't understand. They're not actually trying to be mean. I don't think that... I don't think that's an excuse. Whether you're trying to be mean or you are trying to be mean, if the cause of it is being ignorant and dumb, and then as a result you're very rude, whether you mean to or not, it's all very bad. It's just bad.
So first off, I want to say I'm Native American of the UMA. But we all know who you mean by American. So a while back, a few months.
Oh, this is a Native American from the original inhabitants of the United States, the Native Americans who lived here. Okay, before the original American settlers came and took it all.
Months ago, this American asks me, why do me and my son have long hair, right? Since we're boys or whatever, and I was like,
This is how it always starts. Why do these stories all start? They start with Americans who are curious but have no tact. Absolutely no ability to be sensitive. Yeah. There's a proper way to go about learning and asking people questions. You don't go up to someone and say, "Your English is so good. I think it would suck. Do you ride donkeys?" And
do me and my son have long hair?
Yeah. Why do you have long hair? Why do you have long hair? It's like, can we just be more normal? I swear, not all Americans are like this. We're not all this rude. Just if you're gonna do that, be like, "Excuse me, I don't know much about Jamaica. I'm sorry. Could you answer some questions I have?" Or, "Excuse me, I have a question about your hair. Do you mind if I ask about your hair?" "Oh, okay. Yes. why do you have long hair? You know, there's a way to go about it without being so like weird and way too upfront.
right? Since we're boys or whatever, and I was like, we're Native American or of the Yorming tribe, and he goes, no. I was like, excuse me. He goes, Native Americans are extinct. We call them.
What? This is a weird one because this is a Native American having a bad experience with a regular, we'll say, American person, who is saying Native Americans don't exist. This is very strange to me because here in the United States, in school, we are taught about Native American tribes that lived here and many that currently continue to live here. And the Native Americans and their original culture, we learn about that actually. So this is particularly stupid for this American to say that they don't exist. That's incredibly insulting as well.
I'm like, are you serious? And I noticed he had a bag from the Desert Diamond Casino, and I go, who do you think runs the casinos? And he kind of looks at me with a blank expression. I'm like, we're not all dead. Dumbass.
Unfortunately, that is like all you can say sometimes when people are acting like that. Yeah, that's actually true. Like a lot of Native American communities own Native American run casinos around the US. That's actually a thing.
Oh, excuse me. Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
So I studied with this African American guy in Beijing, and he was like talking about how he wants to visit Africa and stuff, but it's too dangerous. I was like, not everywhere in Africa is dangerous. Zambia is actually very safe.
This again, this doesn't actually shock me that much. Americans just don't know anything about the rest of the world, really, let alone like Africa or places like Jamaica. And I'm afraid this is like a really bad stereotype a lot of Americans have about some of these places. Like that all of Africa is just. Because as an American, I know how Americans think. Especially stupid Americans. I can really relate to stupid Americans myself. But joking aside, I know a lot of Americans just think of Africa as a jungle. It's just a jungle full of wild animals and don't know anything about the different countries and cultures or ways of life and the sort of racist point of view a lot of Americans have is that Africa is very primitive, which is obviously not true. And I think that's something that she's experiencing here.
He's like, nope. The last time I checked, you guys are always burning each other, always have wars and kill each other. I'm like, what is this nigga talking about? Like, literally.
Oh my God.
Hold on, check this out. What you see right here.
And also for this American to have the gall, the confidence. That's what really annoys me a lot with these stories. Americans are way too confident about saying things that we don't even understand to people who literally live these experiences. She is from Africa. She would know. And you're telling her she's wrong?
Is the Global Peace Index for 2020, and Iceland, New Zealand are obviously up there. And then we have Zambia over here coming at number 44, if you can see that.
Oh, wow.
And then we've got the mighty United States of America coming at 121. I mean, it's just not logical. We've never had war since the British, my nigga. Since the British.
So, family vacation in Disneyland. Some guy hears us talking and says, hey, are you guys from Canada? My dad goes, yeah, we're from Canada. And the guy's like, oh, okay. We can see he's like, clearly wants to ask something.
Oh, okay.
And eventually he gets up the courage and he's like, so, what's it like down here? My dad's like, oh, we like Disneyland. Yeah, it's cool. The guy goes, no, no,
Oh, okay, okay. So this guy is Canadian, and he is visiting Disneyland in the United States, having a conversation with an American, asking about what it's like in the United States, I guess.
no, but like, what's it like driving? So my dad asked, well, what do you mean? And the guy goes, so do you get like cars at the border, or how does that work?
I part of me thinks, like, are these Americans just huge trolls? Are they just real life trolls where they're trying to make people mad? I don't think so. That would be better. That would be better if Americans were just rage baiting, trying to make people mad. These Americans are just that dumb. I mean, I didn't know Americans could be this dumb. Truly. I have never thought these thoughts, but obviously America is a big place. This is really sad. And this is like such a weird, this is a particularly bad mindset that Americans have. That other countries outside of the United States are just these simple, primitive places that don't even have cars. Oh, Canada, you don't even have a car. Jamaica, you don't even have a car. Like, what? I can't believe so many people think that.
So me, being the eternal jackass of my family, interject. I say, yeah, they got a little training spot at the border, and you trade in your sled dogs, and they look after them. There's like a fee or whatever. But yeah, we get to drive and try it out. They even let me drive. I was like maybe 10 at the time. Then no word of
No, it turns out this Canadian is the troll, and I like it. Although it's not good, because now the American he's talking to is always going to think he was correct in that. It's funny that this Canadian just like leaned into it and was like, yeah, we ride around on sleds. And when we get to America, we're finally given cars. Yeah, that's definitely how it works.
fly. As my dad is expecting this random stranger to lose his mind, the stranger goes, wow, that Canadian education system is really great.
Okay, I think we're going to stop here. This is making me genuinely upset. Upset that Americans have been so rude to these people from other countries, and upset that Americans are so dumb. I know, no matter where you are in the world, there are going to be dumb people, but it certainly does feel like Americans, my fellow Americans, really don't understand how the rest of the world works. And to be honest, I don't know a lot about a lot of countries. But the difference is, I am aware that I don't know. There's a lot of Americans who are very ignorant and don't seem to be aware of it, which is really scary. I think that's the worst part about it. But this was definitely entertaining, eye-opening. This was something. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on the dumbest things Americans have ever said. And if you're interested in more videos like this, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.